rights. RIGHTS. That is what you're buying. You're buying rights. And those rights are what must be properly verified and documented. Those rights are what must be properly verified and documented. And this is where a land surveyor comes in. We help in that verification process, while your lawyer comes in with the documentation phase. Okay, so let's look at those 4 pillars. Number 1, land. Land is the foundation. Land is the foundation. Why property is what is built on that foundation. Land is the foundation. Property is what is built on land. People are the professionals and stakeholders involved, while process is how ownership is verified, transferred, and secured. I come again. Land is the foundation. Property is what is built on land. People are the professionals and stakeholders involved, while process is how that ownership is being verified, how it's being transferred, and how it's being secured. So most of the problem in real estate happens when the process is ignored. Most of the problem we see in real estate today happens when the process is being ignored. So let's look at land. Understanding land. Land is the foundation of all real estate activity. Everything in real estate begins with land. You want to build road, you want to build house, think of it. Airports, shopping malls, anything in real estate, everything begins with land. It's the foundation of all real estate activity. If the land is wrong, no matter what you build on it, the investment is already at risk. That property is subject to demolition. Anything can happen to that property. So when you get the land wrong, you have exposed yourself to risk. Okay? So land value is influenced by these lines you see me draw on my slide. Every property development begins with land acquisition, and the value of land is influenced by several factors. Now, what makes land? Why is it that some lands are expensive and some are just, why is it that land in Banana Island now, for example, to get a 1,000 square meter, you're thinking of 1 billion naira and above, some 1 million per square meter. While land in Ijebu-Ode is as low as 3 million per plot or so. Why is that value? What brought about the difference in that value of land? That is what this slide is trying to explain to us. Sometimes you can even have 2 land in the same location. Take, for example, 2 lands can be in Lekki as we speak, or let's even say in Ajah, for example. But plot A is more expensive than plot B. Plot A may be selling for 150 million naira, while plot B may be selling for 70 million. What's the difference? That is what we'll be looking at on this slide, right? So land value is influenced by several factors, and this is why you need to understand land before talking about property. Before talking about property, you need to understand land in itself. You need to understand land in itself before we even move to property. Okay, so one of the reasons for that difference is location. Number 2, accessibility. Number 3, government policies. Number 4, infrastructure. Number 5, economic activity. Then we have future development plans. So even if you are selling a property as far as Ogun State, Ibadan, right? These are some of the things you should also watch out for, because these are the things that will drive value. These are the things that will make your land appreciate over time. It's also the reason why some people complain. We've heard a lot. In Lagos, for example, we keep hearing different complaints here and there, right? Some people bought land 10 years ago. They are finding it difficult to sell. The land is still same value that it was bought from, 5 years ago. Why? Because these things were not in place. So these are the things you should watch out for. So let's move quickly. Type of land. Type of land. I need to be very fast right now. So land can be classified or categorized based on its use, based on its intended use, right? So we have different categories in terms of use, what you want to use that land for. So that is why in Lagos, for example, we have the Land Use Act. We have land use and we have zonings, right? In some places, we have different land use, different zonings. If a land has been marked for a particular use, you can't use it for something else. So this is what I'm trying to explain to us here. We have different type of land based on use, right? We have the residential land. Now, residential land is used for housing. We have commercial land used for business, strictly business, your office space, your retail mall, your business activities and all. We also have agricultural land used for business, used for farming, your agric business and all of that. We have industrial land used for production. And we have mixed use land. It combines different purposes. So one of the things we do when we are trying to verify property for people, we check the land use, the zoning. This property you intended to buy, what is your intention? What do you want to do with the land? Do you want to build on it? Is it for commercial purpose? Is it for agric purpose? Is it for industrial use? Understanding this, because these are questions you should throw to your clients the moment they show intent of buying a property from you. Ask them, what do you intend to do on that land? It will help you guide them to the right property. If they want it for business, you know it's commercial land you should recommend for them. If they are looking for residential land, you know this person needs a residential property. If they are looking for agric, you recommend agric land. But how do you make recommendation if you yourself on this call, you don't know the type of land that even exists? So that is the question. Another thing we need to talk about in terms of type of land is land conditions. Land conditions, right? But before I go to that, understand that the use of land determines what can be legally be developed on that land. What you can do that is within the confines of the law, what is appropriate for you to do on that land. For example, we all, especially for those who stay in Lagos State, for example, if you know what has happened to Ekpe for in the last 2 years now, since 2004 thereabout, Ekpe has been on ban because a lot of the agric land were converted to residential by some developers, some people, right? But by law, that land zone was marked for agricultural purpose. So you can't convert land use. That is why you need to understand this tonight. If a land use has been marked for agric, it's strictly agric. If it's commercial, it's strictly commercial. We see a Papa Wharf, for example, is strictly industrial zone. The Lekki Free Trade Zone is strictly industrial zone. So you need to understand the land use and the zoning laws within the state. So speaking to fiscal land conditions, this is why you must go for land inspections. And you should also encourage your clients to walk the land, to go on the tour. Squaremetres will be hosting another inspection soon. This is an avenue for you to encourage your potential clients to walk the land. Because land also differs in terms of physical characteristics. And this will affect developmental costs. For example, you buy land, a client is outside the country. He has, I need you to understand this, realtors. You are the middleman between the developing company and your clients. Most time, clients don't even know the company, but they know you. So your reputation is at stake. So as you are making recommendations, you're advising this client, you should understand the kind of property, product knowledge. You should know the kind of products you are recommending to this client. Okay? Please let me see your emoji. Let me know I'm not the only one. Let me be sure you're following me. So we have different characteristics, and these things will affect development costs. A client who is in diaspora, who have no knowledge of Awoyaya or Ibejuleki, for instance, ask you to make a purchase of a property for them, and you didn't go there. You just assume everything is okay. You don't know if the land is waterlogged or if it's a dry land. A waterlogged land will cost more in terms of development because you need to factor in the cost of sand filling. Can you see the difference? So as a realtor, you must work the land to tell the physical land conditions. These factors affect construction cost and feasibility. You must take note of that. Now, we have what we call the real estate process. Okay? We have the real estate process. But before I go into that process, let me quickly coin on property. Property, like I said earlier on, refers to what is built on the land. And these include houses, your apartments, your office, your malls, your warehouse. Property is where value increases, but only when the land it sits on is secure. Please, if you know anyone that should still join this call, please get them in. We are getting into the deeper part of this conversation, which is documentation. Please, it's almost a do we need to rejoin this class so I can prepare for that. Let me know how many more minutes I have. We have different type of properties, like I mentioned. Why I didn't want to deep dive into properties, because currently the company you're hosting us tonight are currently selling land. Okay, and I hope with time they will move into development. Please forget about slide and focus. Okay, so we have different type of properties. We have detached houses, semi-detached, terraces, maisonettes, and all of that. Understanding this helps you communicate clearly with clients, right? And help you position properties correctly. So we are not talking about property tonight. Okay, so let's move to some. Okay, let's move to the people. Let me see what I have in the next. Okay, before people, the real estate process. This is a standard real estate transaction process. Most of your real estate transaction follows this process, and you need to understand it. What comes next? From property identification to land verification to survey confirmation to title verification, then to negotiation to documentation, then to transfer of ownership. As a realtor, you must understand this loop. You must understand this process. Okay? So let's move to the people in real estate before we go straight into documentation and surveying. Okay? Are you with me? Are we together? So I need us to understand. Please, if communicate with me. Are we together? Are we together? Thank you, Beauty. Thank you,
Yes,
thank
we are
you,
together. We are together.
Michael. Oh, thank you so much. So, the people in real estate.
Together, sir.
Like I said, real estate is made up of a system of interconnected blocks: land, people, property, process, right? So the people in real estate, I need you to know that real estate is a people-driven industry. Is a people-driven industry. You have to know someone. You have to network with people. You can't do real estate in isolation. You have to go to conference, attend trainings. Because successful transaction requires collaborations among stakeholders. You have to network, fill your pipeline every day, fill your contact list every day. Go out with the mindset of meeting people per day. Oh, today I need to meet at least 10 people or 5 people. Be intentional about that. Real estate is a people-driven industry. It involves developers, realtors, surveyors, lawyers, architects, government agency. I mean, in your contact, you should have at least one of these person in your contact list. As a realtor, you should have at least a land surveyor's contact, and by privilege of you guys being on this call tonight, you have access to me. You have access to me. You can ask me any land survey related questions, land chatting information, survey checks, verification. You have access to me. Okay, just for being on this call tonight. So you need to have at least one of these contacts on a speed dial. A land surveyor, an architect, a lawyer, people in government parastatals, LASCA, LASERA, all of them, you should have at least someone. Okay? So please don't joke with that. Paying for land is not ownership. I need to let you know this. For realtors on this call, you think, oh, once your client pays for property, that automatically means they own the land. I'm seeing a hand raised. Is that for me? So paying for land is not ownership. I need to say that again. Documentation is what gives you legal power over land. That you pay for land does not mean you own that land. Go to bank with that. Take my words anywhere. That you pay for land does not make you a legal ownership, a legal owner of that property. Same way, if you buy a car, you need to finish up your process. You need to finish up your process. You have to do your change of papers. You have to get your plate number. So it's a system that you pay doesn't mean you own when it comes to real estate. Okay, so and this is what will be leading us to the key real estate document you must not joke with. Do we have time? Should we continue? Do we need to log out and join in? Because I don't want to start this conversation and I'm being logged out. Please, Beauty, confirm. Should I proceed? Do we still have time here?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
We should continue. Should I continue, please?
Yes, please.
Continue, we can hear you. Continue.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Let's proceed. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. I only ask Beauty, please. Like I said earlier on, you need to understand the business you are getting into, right? From the process, I mentioned earlier on that real estate transaction follows a process, right? If you skip any of those steps, you are exposing the buyer to risk, right? In Nigeria today, I keep on reading, I follow the news, I try to say stats on real estate. Nigeria has a housing deficit of over 20 million homes, meaning that we need about 20 million homes to cater to the population that we currently have. Now, if that is the current population, have you seen the projection for 2030, for 2050? Now, with that margin, where will these people stay? Pick Lagos, for instance. Have you seen the total number of people that drives or that relocate into Lagos per hour or per day? Go and do this. Go and make that research. Check the news. Look out. This means that demand is high and it will continue to grow. Meaning there is a lot of money to be made also in real estate, from rentals to sales to, I mean, if you're in the real estate sector, congratulations, because you are in to make money. You are in to make money and you shouldn't joke with this. Please, what I'm about to say next, the next segment we are entering into, don't joke with it at all. Don't joke with it at all. If you won't need it today, someone somewhere tomorrow will be in need of it. Maybe your family member who wants to buy a property, and you can help them make these verifications, okay? Don't forget, where there is demand, what always happens? there's always opportunity. Okay, so why real estate? Let me even speak to this before we move into documentation. Understand that real estate is very tangible and it appreciates over time. It's the only thing I've seen that if you go to Koskaris, for example, at Awoye, and you buy a brand new car, the moment you start that car, you drive it out of that place, the value start reducing. You can't sell it again at that same amount that you bought that car. But real estate, you can buy land today for 2 million naira, and tomorrow you can sell it for 3 million naira. The value keeps appreciating over time. It can generate you income. I don't need to start saying all of this. You know why you came into real estate. Okay, I'm just here to guide you through the technicalities, the documents, things you should wash out so that you protect yourself as well as your client. So you don't go and engage in a transaction that will land you in jail tomorrow. Okay, so let's move into let's go through the documents you must understand as a realtor. I'm going to take this one step at a time. Okay, understanding land titles. Like I said in my opening, the right, it's what you buy on land, not the land itself. Is the right to own that land. That is what you're buying. When you say, oh, someone bought a house, he bought a land, it's not the land you're buying. Please take note of that. You're buying the right to use that land. And this takes us back to Land Use Act of 1978. Land Use Act of 1978 already made it mandatory that all lands within a state is under the jurisdiction of the governor of that state. So the governor of the state is like the chief when it comes to land. He decides who makes use of a particular land and who doesn't. They can decide to revoke or grant, and you can't question it. So what you have on land is the right to own or use that land. Okay? So that is what you're buying. So what is land title? A land title is the legal proof of ownership. When you buy a land, we start asking you questions. What is the title on that land? And clients, we ask you these questions too. What's the title? Land title is the legal proof of ownership. And without proper documentation, your ownership is not secure. Note that. Without proper documentation, your ownership is not secure. And this is where many people make mistakes. They don't understand that documentation process. And that is why you see they buy house today, next day Caterpillar is showing up to bring it down. Tomorrow they are seeing themselves fighting over land disputes here and there. And over time, I've helped as a surveyor to safeguard many. Okay, so we'll be taking this one step at a time, and please pay attention. I don't know how many minutes we have, but I just hope we'll be able to do justice to this section. Okay, so today I will start with Gazette and Edition. But let me start with let me bust this myth first. A Gazette is not a land title. Let me start with that. A Gazette is not a land title. A Gazette is not a land title. Let me start with that. So from my screen here, we're starting with Gazette and Edition. And let me explain this in a way you understand better. Prior to 1978, Land Use Act, right? We have families, ballers, traditional rulers, first movers to a territory were the ones in custodian of a land. Oh, my forefathers moved into this location, so they claim that portion, that land belongs to them. Right? So after the 1978 Land Use Act, this is something you can go and read about, the Land Use Act of 1978. All lands then belongs to government. Now, the government asks, okay, if you know you own a particular land anywhere, right? bring your survey plan to the government, and they will look into it and see what they can grant to you, right? Why they keep the rest. So now let's bring this conversation home. Let's assume, or we are not in class. This is where I like to do a lot of the drawings and all. So assuming you have an orange, right, in your hands right now. You have an orange. I'm trying to look for something circular right now. You have an orange. Okay, let's assume this is an orange. Okay, cycle. Now, a particular family, this is the total expanse of the land they have. And they did the survey and they submitted it, the logic with the government. And the government is saying, oh, out of this 10,000 square meter, right? Let's assume this entire parcel of land is 10,000 square meter for the purpose of this conversation. And say, okay, out of this 10,000 square meter, we've looked into it, we can't give you, or we are going to take 4,000 square meter and release 6,000 square meter to you. Now, that 6,000 square meter the government released back to that community is what we call excision, meaning that that land has been excised to this community, okay? And they have the right to sell from that 6,000 square meter. They can sell everything. They can do anything with that 6,000 square meter, and the government will not do anything to them. But you see that 4,000 square meter that is left, right? It now belongs to the government. It's been acquired. And you hear what we call government acquisition. It's been acquired. Sell from the 6,000, let's say it's been divided. Sell from the 6,000, leave the 4,000. Sometimes the government can decide to do 60-40 or 70-30, depending. Okay. Now, excision is that process where that, the 6,000 has been released, the process of excising or releasing back to the community. That is what we call excision, right? So once a land has been excised, it becomes legal for purchase. So if you buy a land that is within excision, you are good to go. You don't have issue. In fact, when we do charting information and we see, oh, this land falls under excision, I tell my client, hurry up and buy immediately. But the other one that is not excised, the one that the government withhold acquired, is a no-go area. I'm coming back to that. Hold that thought for a moment. You understand what we call excision and government acquisition. Just hold that now. Now, when that part that has been excised, that's 6,000, the government will now proceed and document it in a government record book, right? To show the file number, to show whatever the date that property was excised and all. Now, that book where that information is being documented is what we call a gazette. Okay, so a gazette is an official proof that excision has been approved. A gazette is the official government document or book that every property that has been excised is being documented on. So if someone tells you, oh, my land is excised, the next thing is, what is the gazette number? Let's know the number in that record. Okay, so that is why I said gazette is actually not a title, but you can say, okay, yes, once your land has excision, it should have a gazette number. So in that case, we marry both together to say, okay, excision, okay, fine, is the land title. Meaning once your land has been excised, it's been documented in the gazette. Hope we are clear with that illustration. Okay. So government, when government release a portion of land to a community, we say that they've excised land to a community. Okay. So the next one I'll be speaking to is certificate of occupancy, C of O, what we call certificate of what we call C of O. Now, when you buy a land, for example, that size land, okay, for the first time, or any land that is freehold for the first time, the first document, the first occupant of that land, or the first purchaser of that land, the title you can do is what we call certificate of occupancy. And this certificate is one of the most recognized title, is one of the most valid title in real estate transaction. But let me pause to say this. What they are actually granting to you is not just the certificate of occupancy, is what we call the right of occupancy. When a certificate of occupancy is granted, what is being granted is the right of occupancy. And this right valid for 99 years. It means you have 99 years to make use of this property. Okay? Let me explain it further. Let me bring it to the fact that you went to an higher institution and you studied biology, right? Let's assume you studied biology, yes. You have the right to brag about that. But someone will then ask you, can I see the certificate to prove that you actually studied biology? Do you understand that? Can you marry that together? So there's the right of occupancy that has been granted, the right to brag that you actually went to this school, to Covenant University, to FUTA, and all of that. But can you show proof? Where's your certificate? So that you have the right to own a property, you need to prove it with you showing us your certificate. This is the certificate. Now, to layer on this, which would lead us to the next title called governor's consent. Governor's consent. Okay. Now, as the first purchaser of a land, you proceeded to do your certificate of occupancy. If you are selling that same land to another person, the second purchaser does not need to will not have to do governor's consent. I'm not speaking from the screen. Please listen, okay, Isaac. The second purchaser will not do another certificate of occupancy. What I mean is, if you buy a property that has C of O, and after a while you decide to sell that property, and you're selling to the next person, this next buyer won't have to do certificate of occupancy again, because you can only have one certificate of occupancy on any given piece of land. You cannot have two of it. So what this next purchaser have to do is to do what we call governor's consent. So governor's consent applies when a land with C of O is resold. When you sell a land with that previously have C of O on it, what you get to do is governor's consent. And this governor's consent is not something serious. It's just the governor appending his signature on your deed, maybe the last page of the deed. So it's not something serious. That's why we say governor's consent. It means the governor has consented to the transfer of ownership between party A to party B. Is that clear? So we move to deed of assignment. Deed of assignment shows who transfers ownership to who. Oh, Mr. A transferred his ownership to Mr. B. So this is being documented in your deed of assignment. The lawyer prepares the deed, and the deed, you require the survey plan to be able to proceed, to process your deed of assignment and all of that. And what is contract of sale? Contract of sale is that temporary agreement before a deed is processed. You bought a land from Squaremetres, for example, you get your contract of sale to show that there is a transaction that has occurred. After that, you need to get your survey plan, get your deed of assignment, if possible, register it. Okay? Oh, please, you guys are distracting me with the DMs, okay? So we move to the next one, the key real estate documents you must know. Key documents you must understand in real estate. Payment receipts, number one. Once your clients make a purchase, I believe you can see my slide now. Once your client makes a purchase, even if it's
Yes,
an
sir.
initial deposit, okay, get the company to issue a receipt, an official receipt. Please note that a receipt is not a land title. You cannot take it to court. It does not hold water. It only proves that money has exchanged hands. That is what receipt does. Okay, that is what receipt does. When you go to your shopping mall, you buy anything, they give you receipt just to show you bought something. Money exchanges hand. Okay, so receipt is not a land title. Okay, but is required, is needed. In case there are issues, you can fall back to it. Oh, this was the receipt of this transaction that was made, to prove that you actually made a deposit or you paid for a property. You buy something from the mall, you got home, you discover that the item is 40. The mall will not take it back from you until they see the receipt. That is how it works. Okay, so the next one is the survey plan. I'm trying to run as fast as I can. Your survey plan shows the exact location and size of the property. It shows the exact location and boundaries of your land. And you need to understand that as a surveyor, every land on earth has a unique identifier. It has what we call, let's say, the DNA. Every land has a unique identifier, and every land, and that unique identifier is what we call coordinates. It's not by the address, it's not by the description. Oh, is that Okpebi, is that Jakonde, is that Aja? No, as a surveyor, we identify lands with coordinates. Coordinates do not change. If I have the coordinates of Paris, I mean, imagine how is it possible for you to launch a missile to another country? It's coordinates. And this is where most of the fraudulent activities in real estate takes place. Coordinate manipulation. A land is not free from government acquisition. You went to quote coordinate of the location that is free on the survey plan. And the client who has no knowledge, who has not engaged a surveyor, we go ahead and make a purchase. At the end of the day, we go to site, we do charting information, we discover that the coordinate on survey plan does not tally with what is on ground. At the end of the day, say, oh, you've been scammed. You didn't make proper verification. Remember, like I said, realtors on this call, you have to guide your clients. You have to help them to make informed decisions. Okay? I'm not going to, if I sit on survey plan alone, it will take another 15 minutes because that is my niche. I would have dissected everything you should look out for in the survey plan, from the coordinate to the size to the plan number to the beacon number. I also need to mention that we have different kind of survey plan, okay? We have the provisional survey, we have the record copy of survey, and we have your normal registered survey plan. They are all different. We have the layout plan. They are all different. Okay? Okay, maybe I should just coin on this. A provisional survey plan is needed when you just need to have a rough overview of your land. You just want to have a rough estimate, an idea of how do your land looks like. A provisional survey is not registered. It does not have government backing. Okay, it's just to give you a rough idea of what your land looks like. But a registered survey has the government beacon because you paid for it. The government will issue you a beacon number. Okay? Okay, are we together? A registered survey will be lodged with the office of the State Surveyor General. And a record copy of that registered survey will also be sent to the office of Surveyor General. So that when you go there to chart, When you go there to make inquiries about the land, they can tell you, oh, this land belongs to Mr. A or B. Okay? I'm seeing hands raised. I hope I'll be able to take questions later. Okay, so the survey plan, which is officially recorded in government archives, is a registered survey. And when you get, and please note this, most developers don't do this. Note this. Even if you're not dealing with developers or you're helping someone out there, the moment it's stated that your survey is registered or lodged, ask them for the certificate of deposit. Where is the certificate or proof of lodgement or proof of record copy submission, whatsoever you call it? In Ogun State, they call it certificate of deposit. In Lagos State, we have a certificate of lodgement. Before, it was previously called proof of record copy submission. Note, once you pay for a registered survey, it doesn't end at the surveyor giving you a survey plan. Ask for the record copy of submission or the certificate of deposit, okay? This is usually given, maybe issued after 2 or 3 months of lodgement of that survey. And you want to process your C of O, you will need that certificate and your survey plan. Else, you won't be able to proceed with your C of O process, okay? There's also what we call building approval. Let's not dwell on that. So what are the common big documentation mistakes realtors makes? One, assuming every family land is safe. Most realtors believe, oh wow, this company, hey, they have a good social media footprint. That means any land they sell is genuine. Please don't fall for that. Large followings on Instagram does not mean that the product they are selling is genuine. You can buy followers online. And in fact, have you checked the social media handles of some of your clients? Most of them just have 20 or 200 followers. They don't need to show off. Most trusted real estate company don't even have up to 5,000 followers. Please don't fall for large social media footprints. Do your due diligence with professionals. Don't assume every real estate company is doing the right thing. Do your due diligence. Don't assume every family land is safe. As a realtor, if you're not selling for trusted companies, please always chart your property. It's not just about land. If you're selling land, before you market it, advise realtors, before you market any product, get your surveyor to do the get your surveyor to chart the property for you. Charting information with, there's a client who wanted to buy a property on this regional road by VGC. Just charting information, how much? 100K. That was then. 100K saved him from losing about 200 million naira. At the end of the day, this person came back to appreciate, because you can't throw away 150 million just because of 10K or 50K that a surveyor will take to chart your property for you. Do your mathematics. Blind trust in developers is also another big mistake realtors make. Please don't do that. Don't rely on verbal agreements. Don't. And not explaining documents to clients is also one costly mistake. Remember that ignorance is expensive, but documentation is cheap. I say that again, ignorance is expensive, but documentation is cheap. So this time around, I think I'll take some time to help us understand land survey and also share some basic tools, due diligence tools every realtors need to work with, okay? Are we getting value at all? Are we getting value at all? Okay, thank you for that feedback. Thank you for that feedback. I hope I'll be able to spend time answering your question from a professional standpoint. I also need to mention this. There are realtors on this call or potential realtors on this call. Note that not all land can be legally sold. Not all land can be legally sold. Some land is under government acquisition, while some are under global acquisition. Remember, I told you to hold on to one thought the other time. Now, I want to quickly speak to it. We have different type of acquisition, especially in this Lagos state. We have different kind of acquisition. Let me quickly speak to it before we move to land survey. Some land is under government acquisition, while some land are under global acquisition. Global acquisition means that government owns the land, but they've not assigned any project on it yet. Note, government acquisition or committed acquisition means the land is already reserved for a project. Remember, I said there's different kind of acquisition, different kind of government acquisition. So we have the committed acquisition and global acquisition. Global acquisition means the government, we've established the fact that government owns the land, right? But this land that they own, or that part that they acquired that they didn't excise, they've not assigned any project to it. So it's called global acquisition. But the one that they've reserved for a project, maybe school construction, road, airport, and all of that, is committed acquisition. It means it has been reserved for a project. It's a no-go area. No amount of connection is a no-go area. Run away from committed acquisitions. Now for global acquisition, there's what we do. There's some global acquisition that we then go further as a surveyor to ask, okay, this land has been acquired, right? Do government have any plan for this property yet? If the answer is no, the next thing we want to find out, oh, okay, I'm interested in this land. Since we do not have any project for this place yet, can we proceed to do ratification? By ratification is the same thing as regularization for some of us who are familiar with that terms, right? We then ask, can we proceed to do regularization on this land? Regularization is the process of buying that property back from the government. Remember, it belongs to them before, right? So the process of buying back is what we call regularization. And there's some, again, remember I mentioned that the excise portion of land, the family or community can go ahead and sell, right? Now we realize that in Lagos, for example, some of these communities or badness or moneyless or whatsoever, they finished selling the one that was excised to them and they started selling the one that was left for the government. Places like General Pain, Shango, Tedo, all those areas deep down, realize that they started selling government land. And government is now like, oh, look at all this development that has happened. If we bring Caterpillar, for example, to start demolishing this property, they will call us wicked government. Oh, we hate so tribe. Oh, we did this, we did that. What can we do to them? Okay, so they grant some locations the right to do regularization. Then instead of we demolishing your property, come and do regularization on this land. So that regularization is that process of buying it back from government. It's like the government say, oh, let's have mercy on these people. We don't want to demolish your land. Oh yeah, come and do regularization. Let's pardon you. But it's not all land that regularization is possible. That is why you need a surveyor to help you check. Oh, this land is government acquisition. We already paid money, but can we do regularization on it? Okay, I thought to quickly point on that. So in case someone is having it in mind to ask me later, okay? So let's move to understanding land survey, which is on my screen. And this is speaking to due diligence. This is my fault and I need to take my time. Okay, land survey, this section, we help us answer that question: where exactly is the land I paid for? Where exactly is the land? Oh, I paid for this land. Where is it? Show me. So survey helps you identify if the land you bought falls inside the right of way, ROW, pipeline, canal, coastal road setback, government committed zone, forest reserve, and Greek zone. We help you check whether the seller, the person who is even selling this land, or is he actually the true owner of this land? Is this land under government acquisition or under committed acquisition? Is it under freehold? Is it under acquisition? These are the questions a surveyor will help you answer. And you're privileged to have one on the call tonight. We also help you confirm, where does my land start from? Where does it end? What is the size of my land? What is the coordinates of my property? Okay. And lastly, we help you check if your property have any form of encumbrances, any form of issues from government, from Omonile, from family. So what are the basic survey terms you must know as a realtor? These are terms you'll be hearing in this industry. From day one, chatting. What chatting information? A client is asking you, does that land, have you done chatting information? So you are not ignorant. You need to know these things. Charting information is just checking your survey coordinates with the surveyor general to confirm if the land is free. You want to buy a property, maybe house or land. You get a surveyor. Prepare. I need charting information for this property. The surveyor will come to your site. The surveyor will come to your site, pick a coordinate on the site. Some of you will send, and this is how I operate. You can send me a survey plan. The truth is, I won't work with that until we visit your land to obtain the coordinate. Because we've seen instances where clients will send survey plan to us, but the coordinate on the survey plan is not the same coordinate on the land. They've flown the coordinates. They pick coordinates of a land that is free, and they wrote it on the survey plan of the land that is not free, so that they can sell. This, you can't detect this as a realtor. You need a professional. That is why we are due diligence specialists. We help you detect, diagnose your land to see where the issues is lying. We are your land doctors. Okay? So we check with your survey coordinate, we check it with government record. Is this land free? Does it have any encumbrances or not? Again, another survey term you come across is coordinate. I mean, you've heard me speak to coordinate. I have said there's a unique identifier of your properties, like the DNA of your land. Okay, so the coordinate is the address of your land on the global map. Coordinate does not change. The coordinates will not change. It's just like your fingerprints. Your fingerprint is not the same as mine. So every land has its own fingerprint. It doesn't change. If I pick a coordinate of where I'm standing now and I send it to anybody outside the country, the person can track me. Your coordinate doesn't change. It's the address of your land on the global map. So it's universal. From here, if you were in a physical class now, we would have experimented with coordinates. We would have traveled with a map to different countries just with coordinates. So you see the importance of what coordinates holds in real estate transaction. The next thing you come across, you constantly hear this, is beacon number. Where's the beacon on my land? There's no beacon here. Where's the beacon number? These are terms you come across. So beacon is that concrete markers that show the boundary of a plot. When you go for site visitation or during allocation process, you see on the side, your land starts from here. You see the beacon on the site, right? This one is corner piece beacon. This one does not have corner piece. You get to see this on site. So beacons are markers, right? There are markers on the land that shows where your property starts and ends. Imagine if there are no beacons on your land. There will be a lot of issues. There will be a lot of boundary disputes. So some people, they will even intentionally go and remove beacons and is against the law. Please don't try it. Okay, beacons are concrete markers that show the boundary of a property. I already speak to record copy of survey. That is the original plan submitted to by the registered surveyor or licensed surveyor to the state office of surveyor general for official recording. So when you do your survey and you say you've registered your survey, that survey must proceed to be registered or lodged with the state surveyor general. We have them in all the states of Nigeria, okay? Right? So please take note of that. Excuse me. So I already speak to the subject of regularization and ratification, a process where buyers pay the government to regularize ownership of land that falls under non-committed acquisition. Now let's speak to zoning. I think I already mentioned this. Zoning defines what you're allowed to build in an area. I already said this before. You must understand land zoning and land use. Oh, this particular area, all you can do here is residential. Please obey it. If government say, oh, the only thing you can do here, this land is for agric purpose, don't go and build residential estate there. Make sure what you are doing there is agric. If they say this land is commercial, don't go and build residential houses. It's very important if you don't want to get into trouble. Don't go and invest your money blindly. As realtors, note this. These are the things you should help your clients mitigate or guide against. Okay? Setback. Oh, this is very, very important. Setback. Setback is the mandatory space you must leave between your building and boundaries. For example, we have different setback. We have the setback laws. I don't think it's on this system. I would have sent it to your group. We have the setback laws. From a major highway, you live like 30 meters, right? From the center of the road, you don't build into it. You have to leave that setback. Like the Lekki Expressway now, the setback from the center of that road is 30 here, 30 here. Coastal road, the federal government has issued 150 to the right, 150 to the left from the center of the road. So if your property falls within that setback, it is at risk of demolition. So you need to pay attention to this when you're buying or helping your client buy. Find out there's a setback to pipeline, there's a setback to electrical power line, power cables and all. And these are for the safety of people and for easy ventilation. Even if you buy a plot of land, there's a setback you should leave from the fence to the building. All this is very important. As a realtor, you must read wide. Keep reading. I already speak to the subject of acquisition, committed land, and all. So let's move to, so this is like my free gift to you guys as I begin to wrap up. This is like a free gift I'm giving to you guys as realtors on this call. Please note this. These are tools every one of you should be able to use. One, as a realtor, you must know how to navigate your way. You must know how to navigate your way effectively. You need to know how to use the navigation tools. Navigation tools like your Google Map. You are going for site inspection with a client. Note the major landmarks so that next time you don't even need the company to take you there. You can go there yourself. Note how these are very, very important. You must be able to navigate your way to any property after visiting that property. Know how to use Google Map. Know how to pin locations. You can go to sites, you can be interacting with a client, and you need some quick answer. You can easily call a surveyor. Oh, sir, please, I need to find out something about this property. And I may just ask you, send me the coordinates of your location. You should be able to do that right away. You should be able to do that right away. You should be able to pin locations on the map. You should be able to geotag. That's what we call geotagging. You should be able to do that. Okay, the next one, you must be able to know how to measure. If you are using an iPhone, there's an app called Measure. It's on your iPhone. Some of you don't even know those tools are there on your phone, but you're not making do of it. Simple tools like an iPhone can measure distance just for preliminary assessments. You can stay in a property and just use your iPhone, just point at it from here to here, how many meters. You can tell the area of the property. These are simple, basic things you should know how to do as realtors. As realtors, you must know how to pick coordinates on site. You don't need to have your surveyor bring GNS, call station, all of that before you can pick simple coordinates on site. Yes, you can pick coordinates on site. It won't be accurate, but it will give a rough estimate, at least a 10-minute, 5-minute radius. It will cover at least a 10-minute radius of your location, and that will give the surveyor an idea of what he's working with. You're on site, you need something. Oh, pick the coordinate for me. And you can do this from your WhatsApp. From your WhatsApp, you can do that. So these are maybe some assignment I'm just leaving with you guys. Go and learn how to use your Google Map, how to geotag, how to pin locations, know how to use your measurement tab app on your iPhone to measure. Okay, go and understand different measuring units, square meter, feet. Understand them. Some places they tell you 100 by 100 makes one. How many square meter makes a plot of land? What is an acre? What is an hectare? Yes, we understand an acre is 6 plots. An hectare is 15 plots. But do you know that? Do you have those information? Clients are asking you, you're biting your mouth, you don't know what to say. Please, realtors, you need to keep on learning every day. Keep on learning every day. You need this information. Your measuring units, your square meter, your acres. Some of you are hearing it for the first time. It's quite understandable, but these are basic things. Like I said, this is the foundations, your ABCs. Because every other thing we'll be discussing, will be layered on these foundations. They are the basic. How to pick coordinates using a smartphone. You can easily do that, send that to a surveyor. Okay? Yeah, that is using your WhatsApp live location. You can use that to pick coordinates. And also physical site inspection. Please don't joke with it. No due diligence is complete without stepping on the land. As realtors, Squaremetres will be introducing you to different products. Make sure you step on that land. They will be fixing date for inspection. Book a tour with them. Go and visit that property. Do you know what this will do to you? When you are speaking to a client, you are speaking from a point of knowledge. As an authority, you know what you can describe the property to them. That is when they will say, this person knows what he's selling. You're not speaking, you're confused. They're asking you, what is the landmark to that Befun property? And you're like, you don't know. Remember, I said that real estate, the currency we trade with is trust. That is the currency we trade with, trust. When you step on site, you get to confirm the beacons on site. You get to check the land boundaries. You get to identify if there's any encroachment. You get to observe the soil type. This is where I even pay more attention to. You get to know, is that soil type? Is it loamy soil? Is it waterlogged? Is it hilly? We might client need to cut and fill. Are we going to need to sand fill this place? These are when you're presenting this data to your client, that land you're about to buy, in fact, you don't have to worry about sand filling. It helps you reduce cost of construction. Your client will this person knows what he's selling. Okay, when you step on site, it also helps you ensure that the land aligns with the document. There's some company will just give you document. This is the survey plan, this is the layout. In fact, pick any plot. But when you get to site, you'll be able to align. This survey plan, You said there's access road here. Where is the road on site? I can't find the road. Where is this road? You said, oh, there's a gatehouse. Oh, yeah, where is it on the land? This entrance road that is leading to the site, where is it? Are you getting value at all? Am I making sense? And, and lastly, there are government portals you should know. I mean, official government portals like epplagosState.gov.ng. If you visit this website, epp.lagosState.gov.ng, you can verify vital information from there. You can learn about regulations. You can see, I mentioned setback the other time. When you go to this website, you will see the various setback, minimum distance you must leave to power line, to pipeline, to coastal road, all of these things.
Sorry, can you come again?
epp.lagosState.gov.ng. Then Google Maps. Hey, this one, Google Maps. Learn how to use Google Map. That is all I can say. Learn how to use Google Map. You can, for my company, sometimes most of our investors, some are not even in the country, so we just send the location of our property to them, the coordinates, so they can check it by themselves to the various landmarks. So when we are saying, that property is 5 minutes from the governor's office, we don't even need to tell you. As clients, you can verify by yourself, check it on the map. Once we send the coordinates to you, you yourself check it, do your verification. So when we are telling you, oh, it's 10 minutes from this, you know that you can take our word for it. 10 minutes is 10 minutes. 15 minutes to this is 15 minutes. We've had a lot of scenarios where someone would say, don't worry, the site is just 10 minutes from the interchange. 10 minutes. And you've driven 20 minutes. The client is asking, are we not there yet? Oh, we are almost there. We are almost there for another 1 hour. We must be sincere with our clients. We must be sincere. Please, realtors, let's do better. Let's do better. Okay, let's do better. Scams happen when people fail to verify information. In conclusion, scam happens when people fail to verify information, and this is why professionalism and due diligence are essential. They're very, very important. A smarter buyer always asks the right questions before investing. And thank God for yesterday, Mr. Ogene mentioned some objections, how to undo objections. Anybody that is asking you questions knows what he or she is doing. Like, I mean, if you're the one, you save money all through the year, you manage to save 5 million, and someone is telling you, come and invest in this property. Won't you ask the right questions? You will ask. So every smart buyer always asks the right questions. And it's your duty as a realtor to answer them and not take offense. Some of us don't even know what to say when certain questions are being asked. That is why you need to submit yourself to mentorship, to trainings. There are questions clients will ask, and there's a way to respond to it. There's what to say when they ask certain questions. Oh, that land is too expensive. There's what to say. Oh, then I need to discuss with my spouse. There's something to tell that person. Oh, I'm not ready. There's something to say. All these objections, you need to learn how to manage and how to handle them. Okay, questions always reveal risk. Okay, questions reveal risk. So, in conclusion, in real estate, remember, trust is built through knowledge and integrity. And in real estate, trust is the currency we trade with. It starts with you. It's not even the company hosting the training. It starts with you. If you are coming to me, I have this property, come and buy from me. I need to be able to see that this guy is not hungry. He's not looking for commission. Because it's only hungry realtors that will avoid questions. And you don't want to sound desperate. Okay, you don't want to sound desperate. I will interrogate you. It's the same way you will. And when I'm interrogating you, it's the confidence with which you respond to me that will make me trust you enough to want to buy from you. So clients don't just buy property, they buy confidence. And you can only speak confidently when you have the right information at your disposal. Imagine someone who is going to a classroom an exam hall to write an exam. Someone who has read, practiced numerous past questions. He has practiced all the past questions for different years, different semester. And someone who has who only started reading 2 weeks to the exam. The person who have practiced will go there with confidence. And this person may not even spend up to 30 minutes before he's done with the exam. Whereas the other person will be biting the pen, looking at the sky, expecting an angel to bring the answers. Information is what distinguishes a professional from a quack. And you need to learn this. Real estate rewards knowledge. Real estate rewards what? Knowledge. The more you understand land, the more you understand documentation, the more you understand the process, the more valuable you become. The more people want to do business with you. And in this industry, people don't just buy land. Like I said, they buy confidence. And our responsibility is to provide that confidence through knowledge, through integrity, and due diligence. On this note, I would like to submit. Real estate is not just about selling properties. It's about protecting people. So if you understand documentation, you understand survey, and you understand relationship management, you will close this faster, you will protect your reputation, and you become a trusted authority. Thank you so much, guys, for having me tonight. So I'm just going to take some questions, and I hope we'll be able to have a good time together. Okay? Beauty, are you facilitating that session, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Wow, wow, wow. That was an intelligent section. Please let's have some emoji flying around the screen. Thank you so much, sir, for that well-detailed section. It was full of value. Let's move on to the question and answer section. Okay, so we have ends already. Let me see.
Please permit me to log out and log in. I'm trying to close my screen. Something is not working fine.
All right. Then.
Okay, fine. It's okay. We can proceed.
Okay, sir. So I think we have some questions in the chat box, and we have some hands that have been raised. So I think I'll give room to the first person to ask their question. Mr. Sunday? Mr. Sunday Makins.
Good evening, ma.
Can you go ahead with your question?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My question is that you talk about the documentation. So in the documentation process, there is R of O before getting the C of O. What I want to understand is that how many months or days or more, or years can it take you to get your C of O? That's my question.
Thank you. I think we have any network issues. Please mute your mic, Mr. Sunday. Mr.
You said?
Mute your mic. I think the speaker is having some network issues. It will attend to you shortly. Can you mute your mic? Okay, let's kindly hold on while we get the speaker on the meeting. So you're asking of my Chris, so we can hear yourself.
Okay, I think I can step in for him.
Okay, sir.
Your question
Hello.
is
Can you hear me? Okay.
okay.
Please go ahead, sir. Mr. Friday.
Oh, okay. So someone was asking how many years it takes to obtain C of O, right?
Yes, please. And the right of occupancy.
Okay, so again, I think the person didn't quite understand what I was saying the other time. So, right of occupancy is what you're actually getting. So, the certificate is just a physical proof that you own this thing. But what is being given to you is actually the right of occupancy. And that right, you have 99 years to use that, right? You have 99 years, and after 99 years, it doesn't end there, it's renewable. It's something you can renew. It's just like you renewing your driver's license or your passport, international passport, okay? So, about the duration, there's no specific, but again, it's subject to how fast you're also able to present your the requirements, because there are requirements for obtaining certificate of occupancy. So if you can meet that requirement, you pay the necessary fees. I mean, it's something that is doable. Okay, so most times the delay is always in compliance, because most times when you start the process, you realize you've not done a lot of stuff. You've not paid your land use charge, you've not gotten a survey plan, you've not gotten stamp duties and all of that. So those are some of the things that will pose some certain form of delays. Okay, I would like to take all the questions together, so I will just answer them one after, at once.
All right, sir. Okay. So we have some in the chat box. So let me just call the next person. Is it Mujrid?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Please kindly come with your question.
Right. I have like two questions. So, sorry. The first one is, sir, I know you've already mentioned, how to maybe take coordinates, verify properties and all. But my question goes like this. Let's say you're working for Squaremetres, for instance, and then, like you said earlier, you not just rely on the company's competence. There, you're working with Squaremetres, you trust them, you know that they will do their due diligence in all their lands and all. But sometimes you might have a client that what he is looking for is not listed. Maybe Squaremetres doesn't have it available at that point. So at that point, you might look for a third-party property to sell to that client of yours. And now you're trying to protect your trust and your integrity as well. And then you go to that third-party property. In a very direct answer, you go to the third party property. How can you verify that property? You go for a physical inspection. How can you know that this property doesn't have any dispute? This property is good, and then you can actually present this property to your clients without fear of jeopardizing your trust and your integrity that you've already built. That's one. And then secondly, just need clarification. I used to feel like the C of O, the R of O are two different documents. So I would need like what are the difference? Sometimes you also hear local government C of O, normal C of O, local government R of O. What are the difference between these documents? Are they different? What are the discrepancies? Are the years the same? What really puts them apart? Those are my two questions for now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for asking. Beauty, please permit me to just answer this person. The question will probably benefit every other person on this call. So one, Squaremetres does not have a direct property. I need to market or probably recommend a third-party property. First thing, go for site inspection. Ask for the survey plan. They probably will have a survey plan, request for it, send it to another surveyor to help you verify. It's as simple as that. Or you yourself, as you're on site, pick the coordinate of that place, send it to your surveyor, help me chart this property. Let's even know. Because again, like I said, your capital you trade in real estate is trust. And if you lose it, remember another thing you benefit from clients, when they trust you, is that they start referring other people to you. And you don't want to, every client you are able to make happy or put a smile on their face owes you other clients. They will refer other people to you. So it's your job to make sure that you always put smiles on your client's face by doing the right thing. So, and you also need to protect your reputation in the process, because on the long run, if anything happens, you're the one they will come to. Oh, you sold this property to me. It's not the company they will go to first. You're the one they will probably arrest. You're the one they will first hold responsible, right, before they start talking about the company. So, and that is the only way to protect yourself, is to do your due diligence as a realtor. Okay, so now your second question is C of O write-off. Now understand this, different states has their own titles and what applies to different states. Akwa Ibom State is different from Lagos State. What applies to Akwa Ibom State is what applies to Abuja real estate. Okay, so understanding the environment you're doing business matters. Okay, so like I said earlier on, right of occupancy is the legal right granted to a person to use and occupy land as provided by the Land Use Act, right? Is in fact, why your C of O, right, is that official document that is issued by your state government granting you that legal right to occupy and use that land. Okay, so it's like the illustration I mentioned. You went to school, right? I know in Abuja, right? I think Abuja, what they use there is right of occupancy. So I'm speaking to Lagos is specific because we are operating in Lagos. So different state, but I'm trying to let you know that right of occupancy is actually what is embedded in that certificate of occupancy. That certificate is just like a physical document to show, to prove, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense to you. So you also mentioned about local government. Yeah, something about local government. Also know that there are two types of R of O. That is the right of occupancy, right? So we have the statutory right of occupancy. That one is what is applicable, that is granted by a state governor, right? And it applies to cities like Lagos. But in some local areas, rural areas, right, what we usually see is the customary right of occupancy, and this one is granted by local government. Yes, granted by local government authorities, right? So I think that is just the major difference. So C of O is that document, but R of O is that legal right. The right itself is R of O. Why C of O is like the proof of ownership, the document, the paper showing that you went to that school, your school certificate, for instance, right? So it's issued as evidence, but the right exists by law. Okay. So most people understand the C of O because that is what they are used to. They've seen that. Okay. I don't know if that answered your question. Yeah, Beauty, let's take 2 or 3 more questions.
All right, Mr. David, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, good evening. Thank you so much for the value. I just want to ask a question. So you mentioned about that, and let's say I purchased a land that was already allocated to a community. Can I still go ahead to apply for the fee or anything? I don't know. I just wanted to know that.
Yes, please. So, Mr. David, also to layer to what you just asked now, when you buy a property, either government allocation or whatsoever, remember you are buying from someone. It's not your name that is on that document. So you need to, there's what we call transfer of ownership, right? If you buy a car from party A, for example, you need to do change of ownership, right? To reflect that you're now the new owner of this vehicle. Else, when you drive on the road, they will stop you. You'll be harassed by officials. Same thing with your land. When you buy a property from anyone, it's expected of you to do your own. I mean, you need to have your own document to prove that you're now the owner, and it starts with your survey plan. So if I have a land that I've already done survey for, and I sell that land to you, you have to go and do your own survey so it will reflect your own name. Okay, if I have C of O on it before, you have to go and do governor's consent so it will reflect your own name, because you can't do C of O again. You get, if it has governor's consent before, you can do another governor's consent. So you can have multiple governor's consent on a particular land, but you cannot have multiple C of O on a particular land. Okay, so if you buy maybe from a community or from an individual, you still need to proceed to do your own documentation. It's very, very important.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Do you have any other question?
Yes, please. Mr. Michael?
All right, thank you very much. So my question here is, all these bills you have been mentioning, like bills for this, for that, this fee, that fee, is it the clients that will pay or the realtor? Or is it the company? No,
Which
no,
one
we have to be clear.
be precise. Let me understand which of the fees.
Eh? What is it?
Which of the fees, to be specific? Can you be more
The
specific?
fees. Okay, let's say for example now that transfer of ownership, or let's say like those fees they pay normally. Like I'm just talking about the fees, like general fee they pay, you know. So I'm asking if it's the clients that will be the one to pay it, or the realtor himself or herself.
So as a realtor, I need to tell you this. Realtors on this call, please listen to me. Always put aside some certain money for due diligence. Okay? Always put aside some certain money for due diligence. And again, it's always good that you even ride on relationship. If you have a good rapport, a good relationship with professionals, you may not even have to pay for some certain services. If you have a good rapport with a surveyor friend, or you can, surveyor, I beg, this land, I just don't do chatting information. No man, no go land myself into trouble. I beg, help me check this one. Is it free? There are some chatting information that I can run for you that I won't have to give you that I don't have to charge you. But there are some I will tell you, oh, for us to get this particular information, we have to pay Alausa. We have to pay these people so we can obtain the actual updated information. But there are some I can easily run on my system, want to and check for you, and you're good to go. But if you don't have relationship, this will come at a cost. So sometimes it's good to build relationship with professionals. Remember I mentioned earlier on, there are some people you must have in your corner so that when you run into trouble, you know someone to call. You have issue, you have a lawyer to call. You have this one, you have a surveyor. You have someone in governor's stage. Oh, LASCA came to us. You can call someone. They are very important. Just like you need your doctor, you need a nurse, a doctor friend in your contact. They are very important. In the UK, I think every family is entitled to one doctor, one lawyer, one surveyor, and all of that. Is in Africa that we have the issue. Every family is supposed to be entitled to a doctor. But I mean, we are still, we get there. Maybe not now, but this is what. So you need to have these people in your contact. Else, you have to pay for everything. But even at that, always make allowance, keep some certain money for due diligence. It's just for your name's sake. It's just for your own name's sake, just to protect your reputation, to protect your name. Okay. I hope that answered your question. Let's take more questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Mr. Michael.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I think we have one in the chat box. Mr. Samuel is saying, in the case where the property is residential, are you saying that I cannot do agriculture on it? Maybe if the client is not equipped to start development immediately.
Oh, Mr. Samuel, I understand you vividly, right? So there's some, let's explain this so you understand better. There are different kind of agriculture, okay? There's some residential property by agriculture. You don't want to go and do a plantation or plant economic trees on the land. You can easily do something like cassava, pepper, once you want to develop, you clear and start development. But there are also some economic trees, mahogany trees, palm tree, and all of that. Or you start doing poultry farming in a residential environment. In fact, the estate will even report you. I don't know if you get. So again, there's what we call land use. Land use means that this particular location is strictly for agric. That is, agric does not mean you cannot build. You can build farmhouses. You can build farmhouses for your staffs to stay. But again, understand that what you can do here is agric. Anything agric. In fact, the C of O that will be given to you will be a Greek C of O. To know how important that is agricultural C of O that will be granted to you, the right to use that land for agricultural purposes. And we have that in some places in Lekki, even Ibeju. I mean, in Lagos here, some places like Ibeju, we see a Greek C of O. Okay, I don't know if that answered your question, Mr. Samuel. So you can plant some, temporary crops, for the meantime, like your plantain, banana for the meantime. But when you want to develop, you're taking it off. So it's not permanent. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Baku? Only one with your question.
Can we get the speaker contact? I'm on the WhatsApp group. You can reach out to me from there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Bassett, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so, I want to first of all appreciate you. For me today, it was a mind shift. And I got value. I just want to ask one question. I'm actually doing the developer here will buy a property that carries C of O, and they market it with that same C of O. Is it appropriate, or should they go for
Please come again.
governor's consent?
Please come again.
I said a situation whereby a developer comes with a C of O, and he still use that same C of O. So in that case, as a realtor, what do you do? Because from what I learned today, when you get a property that comes with a C of O, you have to apply for consent. I don't know whether I'm correct. So
Okay,
should we go ahead and market with the C of O, or we have to tell the company to go and get governor's consent? Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Bassi, thank you for that question. Are you done?
Yes,
Mr.
I'm done.
Can you mute your mic, please? Okay, so let me clarify something, Mr. Bassi. Mr. Rafi, please kindly mute your mic. Beauty, is it possible to mute everyone on the call?
Imagine. Sola ló máa pè é.
Mr. Olamilekan, please mute your mic. Okay, so Mr. Bassi, confirm if you can hear me. Mr. Bassi, can you hear me? Beauty, please, am I audible? Can I proceed?
Yes, sir. Please kindly proceed.
Okay, so Mr. Bassi, let me clarify something, okay? The company is right to market a property that already has C of O. Okay? They have the right to market that property. And in fact, is a good property to market. Any property that you've verified that has C of O is a good one. Remember that the company marketing, maybe they do not have intention of owning, right? They are selling because they know that when they sell, someone is going to buy. Now is in the interest of your own clients to go ahead and do the governor's consent as the new purchaser. The company might not go through that process because after all, they know they are selling. Okay, they are not buying it to own. They probably want to sell. So they can just buy and resell. So it's the person buying now that should, the final purchaser who wants to develop that land, that should proceed to do all those process of maybe title, documentation, and all of that. Okay, so if the land has C of O, you can market it. Why not? Okay, so what I meant earlier on, a land that have C of O, if anybody wants to process title on it, you cannot process another C of O on that same land. So any title you want to do on a property that already has C of O is going to be governor's consent. But if your client, for example, buy a land that has C of O, what he is going to be doing is governor's consent. If your client decides to resell that land again, the new buyer will also do another governor's consent. I don't know if you are clear with that. In case you're not okay, you can shoot me a DM. I'm on the group. Send me a DM, or you have questions
Okay.
you're able to treat on the call. I'm reachable. You can always reach out to me, or you reach out to Mr. Oge or Squaremetres team. They are there to attend to your questions. Okay, thank you so much. Do you still have any other question?
For now, no.
Beauty, please. Do you have any
Yes.
other question?
All right.
Yes, I have one. Are we together?
Please go ahead.
So my question is, you were saying, we're talking about the distance between your house and the road, and the distance between your house and the wall. But
Yeah.
in, should I say Nigeria? But I don't think that is obeyed, because houses in Lagos now, they are very close, as if they are twins or something like that. No breathing space for air. And if you pass streets where there is next to that road, gone, like you cross a gutter, you enter the house, and if you cross it out, you enter the road. So is it that the government are not seeing it, or what's going on exactly?
Okay, Mr. Michael, there are different setbacks for different locations. For estate, properties within estate, right? Just like we have your road, there's the road width. Some for minor roads is 6 meter, right? Major some roads. So there are different what's the word now? So there are different kind of roads, and all of it comes with their own setbacks. So roads within estates, right? You don't necessarily need all those setbacks. Some is maybe just 2 meter or 3 meter. Okay. So you need to, once you can read this online, check for the setback laws. You see different routes and different setback. Now we understand that some developers are not doing the right thing. They are not doing the right thing. There's a minimum setback that should be given between a property fence and the beginning of a building. I mean, we go to some estate, you can even collect toothbrush from your window from the next compound, which is not right. So these are the reasons why we need professionals in the industry, so that we can mitigate against all of this. A lot of people are just there to cash out, make money, dubious developers and all, without building the right thing. Some are not even building, the structures, the materials they're even using, the structural elements are not right. And that is why we're having building collapse. We're having all of these things going on. The kind of
Okay.
foundation, some even get it wrong from the foundation. Where you should do piling foundation, you are doing raft foundation. If a foundation that should take 2 stories, you are doing 5 stories. So these are the reasons why we need professionals. We need people like you to come into the system. Okay. Do you still have
All
questions?
right, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. I think that will be the end for today. If you have any other question, you can drop it on the group and we'll be there to attend to it. Our time is fast spent already. Thank you so much, sir, for such a powerful and detailed section. We truly appreciate the value shared with us tonight. And to everyone that participated in today's training, we want to say thank you. Remember, the training continues tomorrow, same time. So be ready, get your notepad, pen ready for tomorrow's section, get a phone charge. And we're having another speaker coming in tomorrow to also deliver value to us regarding the real estate sector. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation in this training. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. This is where we say good night to everyone. Have a good night's rest. See you tomorrow by 7 p.m. Bye for now.
And we let his face down upon you and be grateful. Make his face shine upon you, be gracious. Let him be still. Amen. Oh, what a heavy rain. Oh,